Hi, everybody. I'm Kirk Montgomery. Welcome to another exciting edition of Kirk's Critters Plus. We have a great guest today. I'm going to pop him up here on the screen. I want to say hello to Sergeant Kyle Hanney. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So you are a sergeant with the Igham County Animal Control.
Last time I checked, yeah, that's what I do.
Well, I want to start from the beginning. Like, what's your background like? What are you from? Are you from the area? Are you from Michigan?
I actually am. I grew up in Igham County,
Okay.
in East Lansing, so go Trojans.
Okay, right, right.
And then I went to college locally at Lansing Community College before I
Okay.
transferred to Baker College.
Oh.
And I got my degree in criminal justice, so that ties it directly into my current career. And then I was hired on with the county in 2013, so I'm going on 13 years
Wow,
now with the
okay.
county.
So how does that work? Are you forgive the phrase, but are you like a regular police officer who then wants to go into a specialty, or how does that work?
So it's a common question. We are two separate designations. Police officers, they have their own state certification. Animal control officers have our own state certification. Ours actually happens to be through Department of Agriculture and Rural Development.
Oh,
With that, though, we do have law enforcement authority while on duty to enforce a very specific set of laws, all of the animal cruelty and animal neglect laws, and then local ordinance laws as well.
are you a pet lover yourself?
Of course I am, yes.
Who do you have at home?
So my wife and I, we actually just recently adopted a puppy from the animal shelter. In addition to that, we have two cats, and then we have a parrot who likes to keep us on our toes.
I'm sure he does. I'm
Yes.
sure he does. We were talking earlier. I had a bird years ago, and they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun. Probably one of the largest commitments you can make as a pet owner.
Yeah, because
would
they live a long
be
time.
long time.
They may outlive us.
It's a very good chance I'm going to have to will my parrot to our daughter.
I
Yes.
know, right? How about the cats? Because I'm a cat dad myself.
Yep, I actually consider myself a cat person more so than a dog person, believe it or not. My wife will love hearing that when she watches this back. She actually, believe it or not, she has her cats tattooed on her arm.
Really?
She sure does, and she makes sure that she has space available for any future cats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Space on the arm and in the home.
you got it. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So talk to me. What is a typical day like for you, being an animal control officer? Or if there is such a thing?
I would say that there is no typical day. There is no routine day, which makes the job exciting.
Yeah.
Because we never really know what we're going to get into on a day-to-day basis.
Kind of like news.
Absolutely, yeah. Our main goal is to not be on the news.
Right. Okay.
But we go out, we have 6 officers in Igham County, and we respond to any sort of animal law violation complaint, whether that's animal neglect, cruelty, animal fighting, and then obviously local ordinance violations too. If your neighbor's dog keeps getting into your yard and you're just fed up and you can't handle it civilly between the two of you, we get paid to go in and kind of intervene and see what we can do to rectify the situation.
Okay, so that is a scenario where you would intervene.
Absolutely, yeah.
But what about just a dog barking?
So barking dogs are going to fall under a noise ordinance violation.
Okay.
Igham County, in our animal control ordinance, we don't have any sort of noise or barking ordinance violation that we can enforce. However, what we do encourage people to do, call your local police department. It's no different than if your neighbor was blasting loud music at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some laws that you think people might be surprised to learn are in fact laws, or laws don't exist? Like if, for example, if I notice a dog is chained up in the middle of a blizzard, is there a law against that?
So it's a great question, and it depends on the circumstances, and I have to do a little more digging to find out if there is a law being broken or not.
Okay.
In the state of Michigan currently, there is no regulation on how long animals can be outside. It's not weather dependent. However, if an animal is to be outside, it needs to have access to adequate shelter, and then also needs to have access to enough water to maintain its good state of health.
Okay. So there is kind of a law then, kind of in a way.
There
right?
is, as long as you have certain provisions in place to make sure that your animal's going to stay safe and healthy, it can be outside. Yep.
Now, what about? I know the preferred term is community cats, right?
Yep, that's the popular term over the last couple of years.
And there seem to be so many of them too. So what is a person supposed to do if they find a bunch of kittens and mom's not there?
So this is a tough situation and a tough conversation to have because a lot of times people don't necessarily like the answer. There's
Right.
not a short-term solution.
Okay.
It's a immediate problem that does require a long-term solution and some commitment from citizens. The
Right.
community needs to get behind it. In Michigan, and more specifically Ingham County, there are very few laws that regulate community cats or stray cats, feral cats, whatever you want to refer to them as. Now, we are fortunate in Ingham County. We have a lot of public support, and we are very grateful for our large budget that we have at Ingham County Animal Control.
Right.
We actually have a community cat coordinator
Oh,
right at our shelter. So if you have questions or concerns about a cat colony in your particular area, you can contact her. She will provide you with a bunch of resources that are available, and we may be able to do some TNR, trap, neuter, release programs in your area.
well, let's expand on that program.
Yes.
How does that work?
So these particular programs, we will dedicate a team of people. We're going to go out into your area where there is this large cat colony, and we will strategically trap these cats in a humane way. We'll bring them to the animal shelter where we have 2 full-time veterinarians on staff. We also partner with MSU Small Animal Clinic, their veterinary school. We will get all of these cats that we live trap spayed and or neutered. We'll get them some very basic vaccines. We'll do a health check on them, and then we do re-release them into the community where they were trapped from.
Okay.
But the good thing is none of these cats are going to be able to reproduce and continue to overpopulate that area.
Right,
So
right.
that's where the long-term solution comes in.
And what if there are kittens that you find that the mom's not around? Can they call you?
So they can call us. However, if these kittens do seem generally healthy, what that would tell me in my experience is that the mom is around somewhere.
Okay.
Otherwise, these kittens just aren't going to thrive.
Right.
So I do know, as a cat lover myself,
Yeah.
if you see some kittens there, your first inclination is to intervene. You want to
Well,
step
right.
in. You want to do
You
something.
want to take them all in.
Exactly. It's a very good chance or a likelihood that the mom cat is just out trying to feed herself.
Okay.
She needs to eat as well. She'll come back and she'll make sure that those kittens are taken care of.
Are there any other surprising facts or laws that people might find surprising that is generally not known?
So a big one that we come across, especially in the city of Lansing, where a lot of people have relatively small lots or small yards, there
Right.
is a tether requirement in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, where if you are going to tether your dog outside to keep it contained to your yard, which is your responsibility,
Right.
the tether does have to be 3 times the length of the body. So if you
Oh.
have your dog just on a short little leash tied up to the fence, that actually is against the law. It does need to
Okay.
be an adequate length tether so the dog can move freely. If it goes to the bathroom, it can escape that area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And every dog you have to have a dog license, right?
Yes, every dog needs to be licensed. That's a state requirement and a county requirement.
Okay. Nothing about cats though. Cats don't.
Cats do not need to be. When people ask me why there's no regulation on cats or they need to be licensed by law, I say is until we have every dog in the state licensed,
Right.
then we can focus on cats.
Yeah. Let's get the dogs
Right.
done first. Okay. Tell me about what have been some more memorable instances where you've had to intervene or you've been called out.
So we can keep it on cats for a little bit. I have gone into particular houses where there's over 100 cats inside.
Really?
Yes. Those ones are always memorable. Those ones stick out. The ones where you walk in and even with 13 years of experience, my jaw hits the floor. You go,
Really?
what in the heck is going on
So I'm
here?
assuming that's not a good experience when they have that. many.
Generally, no. When you have that many cats in a small area, or dogs, because we deal with that with dogs as well, they are a lot more susceptible to illness, disease, spreading back and forth. Generally, the owners or the caretakers of these animals, they need some intervention as well, so we can try to provide them some resources, whether it's voluntary or court-ordered in certain situations.
So that's up to. That's like your call, right? If you think it's a dangerous situation or the animals are being mistreated, you kind of make that call, right?
That's what we are empowered to do.
Okay.
Yes, I go in with my training and experience, and I have to make that judgment call. Do I believe that there is a law being violated here? Are these animals in danger or jeopardy? And if so, then yes, I'm obligated to do something.
And is that a relatively fast process, or is there a lot of red tape involved if you find a situation like that?
It's slower than people would realize.
Okay.
If anyone is familiar with the show Animal Cops, I cannot solve a case in 30 minutes,
Okay.
start to finish. I can't get the information.
Before
and
the
then,
commercial break.
Correct. Yep. The one unfortunate thing, and I have no problem speaking candidly about this, the criminal justice world moves inherently slow.
Okay.
So sometimes to get resolutions, it can take a very long time. I know you're familiar with that in media and news where, you hear about a big case that the police had, and then it's a year and a half, 2 years later before you get a court resolution.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's no different in my world.
So in theory, then, would the animals, would they still be in that situation during that amount of time?
Great question, and that's actually why I brought that up. So fortunately, we do have laws in place that we can remove the animals from that situation. And then we can either house them at the animal shelter where they're under constant care, or we also do have a civil process to try and get ownership of these animals prior to the criminal proceedings actually finalizing. It's a weird situation because in these cases, the animals are considered evidence, but it's not like an inanimate object where I can just go put it on a shelf and forget about it for 2 years. They require constant care. If there's medical needs that come up that are unexpected, we have to deal with that.
And can they be adopted before that process comes to a close or no?
So if we can actually obtain ownership where the animals are no longer owned by this particular person and they are county property, then we can adopt them out if need be. If not, these people do still have a right to fight for their animals back. I mean, that's the due process. So we try to get these animals out of the situation and into a better situation as fast as we can, but we do have to go through the red tape.
What about what's been some of the more unusual things? Like, are people, do they have pet goats? Do they have like pet chickens? Have you had to go and get a cow back from escaping? That kind of thing.
More times than I can count. What we have seen come up especially over the last couple of years, it seems to be a trend right now, are people that want to own emus.
What?
Yep. So
Emus, that's a thing?
It is, and
where would one? Okay, where do you find an emu?
That's a great question. I don't know. If I were to want to go out and buy an emu, I wouldn't know where to start. But
I mean, I guess I might call Bruce Pets, because they're on top of everything. But still, why do you think that is?
I think right now it's just the trend. We saw it going back further in my career. Alligators for a long time were a popular trend. It kind of rises in popularity and then it goes away. I think right now the exotic livestock is the trend right now. If you have an appropriate setup, it's fine. Unfortunately, what happens a lot of times, same thing with the alligators going back 5-10 years, is people make a spur-of-the-moment rash decision. They don't think about it long-term. They don't have an appropriate setup to appropriately care for this animal, and you go down the road a little bit further, and now I'm getting called.
And now the pet is larger than the family van, and it's an alligator. So are there laws against exotic animals?
In Michigan, there's not. Michigan is quite liberal in what it allows its citizens to own when it comes to animals. There are import and export laws, which is beyond what I take care of, and that's more of a USDA regulation. But in Michigan, you can own quite a bit as far as like the exotics and the livestock go. There's prohibitions. You're not allowed to own like wolf hybrids. That was a thing going back 15, 20 years.
What's the most, other than the emu, is there any other unusual pets or animals that people have had?
I know of one person that owns a sloth in the city of Lansing.
Legally? Is that legal? Sloth?
Yep, they legally own it.
And I've gotten very close to a sloth, and those, the talons, are they talons?
Yeah.
Are weapons.
They absolutely are.
They are weapons. I mean, they're cute to look at, but you don't want one to get angry at you.
I wouldn't. No, absolutely not. I have been in a house where someone had I want to say around 50 or so venomous snakes, where
Just for fun.
that was their hobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were they well taken care of, I would hope?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I'll be fully transparent in that situation. I'm not a snake expert, so I have to
Right.
call someone else in and
Right.
go, does this look okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I want to ask you about your side hobby, but we're going to do that. I think we're going to take a quick break, and because you said you like cats and dogs, specifically hot dogs, and we're going to get to that when we come right back. So stay with us. Welcome back to Kirk's Critters Plus. I've got a great guest today, Sergeant Kyle Hanney from the Ingham County Animal Control and Shelter. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Cows, horses. Has there been weird situations where there's a cow in the middle of the freeway? Or is that something you guys would handle?
That is something we get called out to regularly. It happens more often than I think people would think. Those are actually sometimes pretty scary calls. I hate to say this, but if a raccoon jumps out in front of the road and you happen to hit it, it's not a huge public safety issue. It's
Right.
not going to generally cause a lot of damage to your vehicle.
Right.
If you hit a cow going 60 miles an hour,
Or a deer?
or a deer, it could be fatal. So
Oh, yeah.
So we want to definitely get the livestock out of the road. Those are actually pretty high priority calls for us.
Okay. And you mentioned there in Ingham County there are 6 of you, right? If someone is interested in doing this, what path would you have them take? Is it like a 4-year degree or a 2-year training, or how does that work?
So in Ingham County, we require a 2-year degree. Now, 4-year degree is becoming more and more popular, and that's across the board in all law enforcement.
Okay.
But we generally like to see a criminal justice degree. The people that have the criminal justice background, the law enforcement background, they tend to have a kind of a leg up above everybody else. They're a little bit ahead of the curve because they know some case law, they know constitutional rights, things like that.
Okay.
And then the animal side, we can teach them.
Okay, so as long as they have the basics of law down, you can teach them the more nuanced specifics of animal control.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we kind of teased this before the break, but I did a little research, and I found a fascinating Facebook page called Kyle Can Eat.
Yes.
Talk to me about you. What's the term? Is it competitive eater?
That is the term, yes.
You are a
Competitive eater or a professional eater.
You're
yes.
a professional eater. How did that happen?
It was nothing that I ever had a goal of getting into. I can tell you that. It kind of just happened naturally or organically. My wife and I, we were on vacation in Nashville with a couple friends, and we were doing the typical Nashville scene. We were enjoying Broadway and enjoying some adult beverages.
Yes, yeah.
And we happened to go into a restaurant that had a food challenge. And after a few adult beverages, I had the courage to try it. And I did surprisingly well. And then it was about another 6 months or so later, I did another food challenge. And then I realized I might have a knack for this. And it's kind of just snowballed ever since.
And you didn't really recognize that talent until you had to demonstrate it, right?
Correct, yes.
So you've been doing it for how long now?
About a year and a half.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
Yeah, not long.
But you have a lot of followers. You're on Instagram, right?
All of the major social media, yeah.
And are they all Kyle Can Eat?
Yes.
The Facebook page is wild, and you've got video on there. There's a pizza like that's the size of this table.
Yep.
But how do you? Because you look like you're in great shape, and so like how can you eat a 9-pound pizza, and still? How does that work?
Well, starting off, I definitely don't eat like that every day.
Okay. Okay.
People ask me, like, how are you not, 350 pounds? If I ate like that every day, I would be.
Okay.
The other 6 days of the week, because I generally do this once a week.
Once a week.
I eat very boring. A lot of vegetables, a lot of lean meats, and ultimately it comes down to knowing what my calorie needs are for a weekly basis.
Okay.
And I just kind of average it out.
And so do you seek out these challenges, or do certain organizations reach out to you? How does that work?
Sure. Both. When I first started, I had to go seek out a lot of these challenges or contests. The more popular that my page has become, I've had more and more restaurants reach out to me or events reach out to me. I guess keeping in line with the Critter Talk, I've done 2 where I've actually been able to raise funds for animal shelters.
Awesome.
I did a charity hot dog contest in Jackson back in June where I actually won $1,000 for the Jackson County Animal Shelter.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Now, people were interested in doing that. How do you get into that world?
Safely and cautiously.
Okay.
Because I can definitely say it's probably not the most healthy hobby to have, although it is fun. I would actually say go check out my Kyle Can Eat Facebook page. There's a ton of local challenges at local restaurants around here. It's a great place to start. And the worst case scenario is you leave full with some leftovers.
Well, yeah. And do you just kind of concentrate in the mid-Michigan area, or do you go east or west?
I try to just to highlight local Lansing area restaurants. I like to do that and keep it local, but I've gone all over the Midwest. I was down in Toledo, Ohio a couple weeks ago. I've been to Indianapolis. I've pretty much all over.
Wow. What was the biggest challenge?
Graham Vineyards in Langsburg, so locally, they had a 9-pound food challenge, which consisted of like a 4-pound pizza, a 3-pound burger, 1.5 pounds of chili cheese fries, and then a giant slice of cake.
How'd you do?
That one actually, that was my most recent one that I failed.
Oh.
Speaking to ones that I've won, though, I've done pho challenges or ramen challenges that are over 10 pounds, but that includes broth.
Oh, true.
I've done some giant pizza challenges, 30-inch pizzas. So.
And you finished the whole thing?
Yeah, somehow.
And then when will you eat? When will you eat next?
Normally not until the following day. Normally about 24 hours or so.
Okay, just to recover, I would think.
Yeah.
I noticed on the website too that ride-alongs.
Yes.
If someone is interested in doing a ride-along, do they just need to reach out to you via the website?
Absolutely. Yep. Right on the animal control website, ac.igham.org, there's a ride-along request form that you can fill out electronically. It gets sent directly to me.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a waiver to fill out, and we'll get you scheduled.
And so how many people take you up on that? And what's their reaction been?
We do, I would say, a couple a month. Ever since we made it public that anyone can come in and do a ride-along, I think there's been a lot of public interest. I think it's definitely opened some eyes as to what our job is. I think there's a lot of people that still think animal control officers are the dog catcher, from years past, where we're out there with a net just scooping up loose dogs, and our job could be probably the furthest thing from that. So I definitely think it's a great tool for the public to see what we do.
So what is the most surprising thing that you think people would learn about what you guys do?
That on a day-to-day basis, we definitely deal with people more than animals. I deal with the animal owners, not the animals.
Okay.
So you definitely have to have a passion for animals. You have to love animals to do this job. But you have to have good communication skills. You have to be a people person as well.
Because I would assume that most of the time the people you're interacting with are not very happy to see you.
Generally not. I'm not seeing people on their best day.
Yeah. That would be a challenge, I would think. Well, I want to thank you. This has been eye-opening. I hope it's been eye-opening to me. I hope it's been eye-opening to our viewers. Is there anything else you want to add as far as what maybe the misconceptions may be or other surprises?
I would say overall, the animal shelter, Ingham County Animal Control, and across the country, our goal is not to take animals and put them into animal shelters. Our job is to keep animals out of shelters, to keep them in the homes. We do everything we can possibly, even if it's providing community resources. If someone believes that they can't afford their animal anymore due to financial hardship, we have programs available where we can try to get you some dog food. I'm sure Hannah probably touched on that a little bit last week as well. But our job is to keep your animals with you in your home.
Great advice. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Too you.
I hope this wasn't too.
No, this was a blast.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
And I may take you up on doing a ride along. That could be kind of fun.
Absolutely, you absolutely can.
Maybe videotape it and show folks what it's like. All right, that's all the time we have now for Kirk's Critters Plus. Thank you so much for your patience, for watching. We're kind of still have a few bumps on the road with the technology here, but we appreciate everybody watching, and have a great day, everybody.